Hello friends, welcome to Apex Chess Academy. I am FIDE instructor Hemal Thanki. If you have any suggestion about my video, please post as soon as possible so I can improve my quality as well. Today we are going to see a topic, learn from the classics. And when we start a topic one, learn from the classics, it is always good to start with the first world championship and the first game of the first world championship. Okay, so the first world championship was played in 1886 between Zukertort and Steinitz. So in 1886, we can't expect a perfect opening, but they have played a beautiful middle game and end game. So when we see any kind of classic games, it is really good to learn middle game and end game concepts. So I would recommend all players to learn the classic examples. So today we'll see the first classic example of Zukertort vs Steinitz first world championship game. d4, d5, c4, c6, e3, bishop f5, knight c3, e6. All moves are very natural so far. Knight f3, knight d7, and here white played a3. So nowadays we are of course not going to see this move a3, but okay. First of all, let's understand what is the idea of Zukertort with this a3 move. So normally this a3, the idea of a3 move is to play c5 and b4. If you carefully see, this pawn chain is going towards the queen side. So ideally white should play on queen side. And if white achieves c5 followed by b4 b5 plan, white is just gaining space on queen side, which looks very ideal. So here you can pause the video and try to find out the best move as black. Yes, just on move number 6 you have this luxury of finding the best move. That is what the strength of classic games. So here black played the best move, bishop to d6. Now let's compare it with knight gf6. If you are playing knight gf6 and if I played c5, it is ideal to play e5 in this kind of position once black played c5, because your pawn chain should aim towards king side in this position once white played c5. So if you want to achieve e5, it is ideal to put your bishop on d6 before white serves it with c5. So it is ideal to put bishop d6 first rather than ngf6. And so after a3, black played bishop to d6. Now white played c5, bishop c7, and now you see the bishop on e7 is not that useful in order to achieve e5, while bishop on c7 is very helpful to achieve e5 here. Now white played b4 and black played e5. So bishop e2, and again here there are two moves, either e4 or knight f6, knight gf6. So again you just try to pause and try to find out the best move. Okay, so here if you play e4 here on move number 9, white will just play knight to d2, and I would say it is early to release the tension here, because this bishop on c1 is actually protecting this e3 pawn indirectly. So white may play f3 in future, and after takes knight into f3, this bishop is defending e3. So instead of that, if white plays ngf6, because you are not worried about knight to h4 here, because your bishop has space on e6. So knight gf6 looks a very good waiting move actually, because after ngf6, if now white goes for a short castle, this looks like just like a suicide, because after e4 you have some Greek gift kind of stuff, that we are going to cover in a separate theme. So e4 is a threat if it goes for a short castle, and if white goes for, say, bishop to b2, white has just committed his bishop to b2, so now the e3 pawn is not protected so far. So this was played in game, and this is why NGFC is more flexible as compared to e4, because you have the luxury of ed4, you have the luxury of e4, and that e5 pawn is not at all stopping any development of your pieces. So this is very important to keep the flexibility for your pieces. So after ngf6 and bishop to b2, now white's idea is to play pawn into pawn, is try to activate his bishop on b2. So now it is good to release the tension because we want to stop de5. So after knight d2, now you can see the bishop is already on b2, is not defending the e3 pawn. And now here again, just try to pause the video and try to find out the best move. So black's pawn chain is going towards the king side, so it is ideal to play on a king side. If you play castle here, of course, which is fine, no problem at all. But here black showed a very deep understanding indeed. So here black played h5, a very good move, because in the initial position f2 pawn is weak, and by playing h5, what black is doing? Black is just playing knight to g4 followed by queen to h4 and just putting pressure on f2 and h2. So castle is of course not possible, and white has just expanded c5 b4, so of course that king is very weak on queen side as well, and of course we won't allow that king to be in center for a long time. So h5 is a very good move. In fact, black's king looks very safe on e8. Whenever we need, we even just play king to f8. So after h5, knight g4 is a threat, and to defend this knight g4, white has to go for h3, because castle is just bad because of just bishop into h2, and this is what so-called Greek gift, because after king into just knight g4 check, and king g1 is made by queen h4, and if bishop into g4, then still at g4, still that is the check, and this is what the trick is. That's why black played h5, because if king g1, then queen h4, and f3 is still not allowing that king to run, because we have just g3 before giving any kind of check. So stopping king f2 first, and then only we'll give check, right? So castle is not possible on move number 12. So black has to play h3 to stop knight g4. And here again, I mean, it's a tremendous understanding. I mean, for Steinitz William, he played again a very beautiful move. So here there are a few ideas. You can just try to find out the best move here as well. Just pause the video and try to find out. Okay, so here again, white played a beautiful move, knight to f8. Okay, so because we want to put pressure on g2 now, so how to put pressure on this weak pawn on g2? So here you have few choices. You may think about rook h6, rook g6. You may think about knight g8 and queen to g5, or you may think about knight f8, knight g6, and knight to h4. So there are normally three good plans are here. But if you are playing rook h6, rook g6, your knight on d7 is not coming into play. If you are playing knight to g8, you are putting your piece back and just try to activate your king. So possible, but it looks a bit slow. While if you see the knight f8, this looks very ideal, because first put your knight on h4 and then think about either rook h6, rook g6, or knight g8, queen g5. Very logical again. Now a4 and knight to g6. So now b5, that looks very logical, and now black played knight to h4. And now Nowadays, I'm very sure that any grandmaster will definitely play bishop to f1. Of course, any grandmaster won't, achieve this position. But okay, if by mistake, if they are in this kind of trouble, they will definitely play bishop to f1 rather than playing a weak move like g3. But okay, bishop to f1. Still, black can just start with g5, g4 kind of stuff. um, and after say g3, knight g6, so takes and rook b1. So this might be a better try as white, but in game white played g3 after 14th knight to h4. And now after g3, black has two ideas. One move which is possible, like knight to g6, simple knight to g6 looks very logical, because now if black goes for h4 in future, white goes for h4 in future, black will play bishop to g4, because black has all the pawns on a light square, so it is ideal to play like this. So let me show you another variation which was not played in game. Knight g6. So if h4, then bishop g4, because black has all his pawns on light square, so it is ideal to trade the light square bishop at the same point. At the same time, I mean, white's all pawns on a dark square, so he has a very good bishop on e2. So it is ideal to play bishop to g4 here. And once if bishop g4, knight g4, and now black is going to play knight e7 and knight f5, and maybe some sacrifice on g3 or e3 might be possible in future. So this is possible, but Stini's move was just amazing. I mean, he just show us how to play attacking chess. So here, if you are able to find out this move, which is really good. So here he played knight g2 check, a very energetic move. And after king f1, of course, next move is very logical. So if you are able to find knight g2, next move is very forced. So knight e3, fe3, and now bishop into g3, and now king g2. And again, it is black to play and try to find out the best move as black. Okay, so again, let's find out the candidate moves first of all. So after king g2, you have few candidate moves. For example, h4 is one of them. An idea is rook h6, rook g6. Another candidate move looks bishop to h4. Another move is bishop to b8 and bishop to c7. These four moves looks very logical to continue a very strong attacking ideas. Let's eliminate all the possibility one by one. So first of all, let's compare. If we compare bishop b8 and bishop c7, of course bishop c7 is a better choice as compared to bishop to b8. So we can eliminate bishop b8 straightforward. Now if we look this move h4, actually after h4 you need 3 tempos to give a check to white's king. For example, rook h6, rook g7. Again, you need to move your bishop. So it takes 3 moves to give check. While if you move your bishop, you will give check only in 2 moves. So of course, moving bishop is more logical as compared to h4. I'm not saying that you won't get any kind of attack after h4, but this is what the most logical thing is. Another idea, I mean, white may play bishop g4 in some cases to defend his king, while we are giving g4 square access after h4. So again, which is not that ideal. So here you have only 2 choices now, either bishop h4 or bishop to c7. Now bishop h4 actually is more logical, but it won't work tactically. So let's see. When I was seeing this game first time, I was calculating bishop h4, but somehow bishop h4 is not working here, because after bishop h4 the correct move is queen f1, and this is what the excellent move and very hidden resource for white actually. So after queen to f1, this bishop on f5 is hanging, and if you defend this bishop with say queen d7, this queen f4 is coming, and this bishop on h4 is trapped. And if you place g5 here, then queen e5 check is coming, and this knight on f6 is hanging. A series of continuation, series of good moves simply lost for black, very very surprisingly. And now after say queen e6, and just final move rook a f1, and both pieces on f5 are hanging. A very rare example, but which is true. So, and that's why this tactics allows white to escape, and just not even escape, actually white wins after queen to f1. And instead of queen f1, if bishop to e6, still queen to f4, and g5 means queen to d6, and still this bishop on h4 looks silly for the rest of the game, and white manages to get a good position after queen to d6. So bishop h4 is also not a good move, and that's why Steinitz has choose bishop to c7. A best move indeed, a very good understanding. And now the threat is rook h6 and rook g6. So maybe here white should try knight to f1, but in game Zukertort played queen to g1 with the idea of king to f1 in some case. Okay, and white played rook h6, which is a part of our plan. Now king f1 and rook to g6, attacking the queen. We have just improved our rook as well, and now after say rook g6, queen f2, and now queen to d7, just targeting the h3 pawn. Actually, the h3 pawn is important here because we want to control the g4 square, which is a very important square for our knight, and that's why it is necessary to take the h3 pawn so that we can access our knight, because we have to bring a new resource into the attack, and that's why queen d7 is a good move. So now pawn into pawn, pawn into pawn, and here knight b5 looks very interesting because knight b5 you can't take, because your queen on d7 is hanging, is pinned after bishop b5. But the thing is, after knight b5, actually you have simple bishop into h3 check, and that's why it won't work. But okay, in game rg1 was played. Now bishop into h3 check, king e1, and again try to find out the best move as black. Here again Zukertort played the best move. Here bishop g4 looks very logical, but bishop g4 means white has a very stunning knight to b5, a very good resource actually. But still, Zukertort played a best move. He played knight to g4. He didn't give enough time to black, or time to white, because now the queen is hanging, and if you are playing say queen to h4, then knight into e3 is coming, and if you are playing bishop into g4, this is really a tough time for white, because he has to give a very strong bishop, which was controlling all the light squares. So if white has to give up this bishop, it is really good, and especially in presence of our light square bishop. So bishop to g4 looks logical, because again, if you consider rook into g4, your rook on g6 is the attacking piece, and opponent's rook on g1 is a passive piece. So already we have learned in our previous videos that you should not attack your attacking piece against his passive piece. And of course at g3, at g4 looks out of question, because okay, g3 is the threat, but white may play rook g3, just gives up an exchange, because which simply slow down some attacking ideas. So I don't like even at g4. Rather than that, I like just bishop to g4, what Steinitz has played, a beautiful move. Now knight e2, and when I was seeing this game, here I differed from Steinitz move second time. First move I just missed with bishop h4, and of course bishop c7. We have seen that bishop c7 was an excellent move, and here I thought rook to f6, but Steinitz move was again amazing. He played queen to e7. So the point is, after rook f6, white is going to play queen to h4, but here queen e7 Now black's idea is to play rook to f6 and queen h4 is not possible because of rook f1. Genius, I mean, just very good. So queen is on very deep wounded again, and now knight f4, and here rook f6, rook h6, both moves are good. So Steinitz played rook h6, but okay, if you have thought about rook f6, still it is good enough. And he played rook to h6 with the idea of g5 next move. And okay, white played bishop to c3, but okay, we cannot suggest any kind of improvement to white. So okay, bishop c3, and now black played g5, just kicking this knight away, and after say knight to e2, and now rook to f6. So f5 is still good enough because f5 f4 is coming, which is also good enough. Western is played another good move, because if you are playing f4 f5 f4, you are not bringing your rook into the attack, but with the move f5, with the move rook f6, you are just attacking with the rook as well, with an extra piece. Now if queen moves, now again try to find out the best move as black. Yes, e3 is the only weak pawn in white's camp, and before pushing f5, Steinitz activate his rook with rook to f3, and white cannot take on f3 because of ef3 and wins the second knight as well, and still e3 remains weak, so he cannot take. And if you place a knight to f1, you can just start with f5, or maybe even bishop h3 is also winning. Steinitz has played some different moves which looks logical, but okay, let's consider some other moves as well. f5 is good enough because next move is f4. If you have thought bishop h3, which also looks a decent alternative, because if you say if opponent goes for queen to g5, you have rook f1 check. But Steinitz idea was maybe say after king d2, he'll just play queen into g5, queen, rook into queen, and rook into a1, bishop into a1, king e7, and rook to h5. And black is just a pawn. So Steinitz wants something more, and that's why he played rook to b8 rather than simply winning a piece back with bishop h3. So rook b8 again is a very deep move, because white has to run with his king, right? So whenever f5 4 comes, he has to play king d2, and whenever king runs on a queen side, we must have a rook to cut off this king, so it cannot run along with the b file, and that's why rook b8 is a very deep move again. Excellent. So after rook b8, white played king to d2, and white start with a stunning move f5. Although here queen f6 is also good enough, because now next move is just rook f2, or maybe sometimes even rook e3 is coming, so rook f2 is also good enough. But f5 looks very logical. You can just throw your pawns without thinking, because now next move is f4 and you just take on e3, or next move after taking on e3, you have bishop f4, something like this. Very easy moves as black. Now white played a5. Again, it's difficult to suggest any move to white, and black played f4, rook to h1, and again here queen f6 is good, queen f8 is good, fe3 possible, but Steinitz move was again best. So if I find this move, it's really good. Steinitz played queen to f7. Beautiful. Maybe it's not necessary to play this move. Maybe queen f6 is good enough. But here, chess is always about chances, and if you keep a chance with you, it is really good, because here we have the idea to exploit the f file. But by chance, if white runs with the king c2, we may have queen b7 in future to target the b file as well, to target the b3 weakness as well, and that's why queen f7 is more accurate as compared to queen f6 or queen f8. Tremendous. Again, a very beautiful game by Steinitz. Beautiful game. So after queen to f7, White played rook e1, and now Sunis finished in a great manner, fe3, knight into e3, and he played rook e2. Rook e3 is also winning, so if you want to check rook e3, you can just check in my analysis. I just for the players who want to check it in a game format, you can visit my website apexchess.academy, where you can find out this theme, learn from the classics in a chess corner menu. Okay, so here rook e3 is also winning, but okay, let's choose rook f2, and white took on f2, so the remaining part is very easy. Queen f2, and just knight g4, bishop f4 check, king c2 at g4, and the rest of the part is easy. Okay, so you can just go through the remaining game. But okay, this is the first game of the first World Championship, Zukertort Vs Steinitz. A beautiful game. I mean, you have learned lots of concepts here in this game. First, we have seen that the player should play on towards his pawn chain. So white is playing on a queen side, black is playing on a king side, and after a3 kind of inaccuracy, or black reacts to bishop d6. Then so many crucial decisions was in the game, and Steinitz chooses all the correct decisions in 1886. Tremendous, beautiful game. Okay, so hope you like my video, and just we are going to check another game in future with learn from the classics. So this kind of themes are really good, and I am constantly going to put this kind of games in learn from the classics. Hope you like my video. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.